I write in the morning, so I get up at 4:30 and I write from 5 to 7:30 every morning, and I would do these sort of free writing sessions, right? Where I would like be like a psychologist sitting down with the character, and I would just ask them questions for the whole session. I had sessions with them, and I remember I was doing sessions with Simone, um, and I would ask her questions, and I would write, and then at the end of the day, I'd feel pretty stupid, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that was a waste of time, and I could see that I was sort of forcing the answers, but you pushed me to just keep at it, and then I asked her about that tomorrow, and let's see what she says, and I played along, and I was like, okay, fine. I'm coachable, so I'll do it. And after 2 weeks, I think, there was this one morning when the night before you tricked me and you said, why don't you ask her about, what happened when she found out that her parents had died. And I realized that I had no idea what had happened in the backstory. And so the next morning I asked her, and by then it was week 2 and I was already sort of in the flow, when I would start writing, and I asked her about it, and then she started telling me what happened, and she explained that she was in the barn when she heard the car come up the driveway, and she could know that something was wrong because the sound of the wheels in the gravel was different than her parents' car. And then she looked up, and it was a police car, and she felt that something had gone wrong, and her parents had gone out for dinner. And so she sits back in the barn with the animals, and she doesn't want to come out of the barn because she said, I knew that the second I would walk out of that barn, my life would change forever. Right. And so she was holding on to the past and to the reality from before by just staying locked inside the barn for as long as she could. And I remember when I was writing it and I was hearing it, I was very emotional. It was very, I was crying, and then I finished the morning. I was like, wow, what happened? It was just great. And then we had this Google Doc that you would read in the afternoon, and so that night I got a message that said we have to talk, and then we got on a Zoom call that night, and you had highlighted the lines or the things that she had said, which sounded different than anything that she had said before that I had written for the first 2 weeks. Yeah. And you showed me the difference, and we looked at it together, and she didn't speak the same way. She, the speech pattern had changed. The way she spoke, the way I wrote her was different. And then you said she came to life. Yeah. That was the morning that it happened. And I could see it, on paper. So that was a big lesson. That's the moment when I realized, okay, there is a moment that these characters actually take life, and you're not just yourself trying to say, oh, I think she'll say this.
It's an epiphany, isn't it? I mean, it's a big realization when all of a sudden you start to hear them and they start to do things, surprise you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But that's writing.
That's writing.
But unless you've pushed yourself hard enough, or you've been pushed by someone else,